Very good. All right. Hey, so up next is Adam Kinakin.
Please hold the applause. I don't know if you're going to want to do that. Thanks, brother. Hey, everyone. Hey, can I get a quick hand for Joe for putting all this together and bringing these speakers out here? Yeah. You know, Joe gave me a call. He brought up the idea of doing this, and the first thing that jumped into my mind, he's like, what do you want to talk about? And I'm like, shit, I don't know. I said, dude, the first thing that came to my mind right when you called me, I said, we have to change the standard. Change the standard. Well, shit, what does that mean? Change the standard. Before we go into that, I want to kind of set a framework or put us all on the ground floor on this, on the way my thought process on this works. So for me, I want to decide if we can agree as a group that in this industry right now, there are phenomenal training companies, organizations, and agencies that are putting out great training. Can we agree on that? Okay. Can we also agree that there's phenomenal trainers, instructors, FTOs, DIs? You know what? I want you to stop right now. I want everybody to take a look around the room. Just take a look to your left, look to your right. I guarantee you that there's somebody that you just looked at in this room that is probably the reason why you're here, because you wanted to learn from the people that are here at this conference this week. We know that effort, right, and outcome don't always correlate. You could have the best instructor, you could have the best training program, you could have a super engaged student, but sometimes we end up with a less than favorable outcome in the street. Right? We've seen that. So if we can agree that all those things are true, I would propose that the inverse of that can also be true to some degree, right? Sometimes you have bad trainers, bad systems, and you end up with bad outcomes. So when I say change the standard, what does that mean? Change the standard. What standards are we talking about? Are we talking about training standards? Are we talking about professional standards? How about recruitment standards? We're talking about national standards. This is an international organization. International standards, right? And how do we qualify and quantify those standards? Are we using rubrics and matrices and data? Are we using numbers? Or are we using like a feeling, something more intrinsic? Do I feel like this is the best way to go about what we're doing based off of my experience? I want you to take a second right now, and I'm going to ask you, I want you to create a new standard. And whatever it is that your area of expertise is, think about it. If I asked you, I want you to create a new standard, in your head, what is that standard that you think of? And I'm going to go back to that in a second. So if we're going to create a new standard, well, what does that mean? Create a new standard. I want to go, and I'm actually going to, Joe started this entire thing off by saying one thing, and I want to use a reframe, because I believe that the standards that we set, whatever came to your mind, I think it falls on one person, just one. Now, I don't know what side of the religious spectrum you fall on, but I'm definitely not talking about the big guy upstairs. That's not the one person I'm talking about, but it falls on one person. So I want to do a reframe with you guys, and it comes to what Joe had said. There's a phrase that we use in this industry that I think everybody here has heard. So I'll start it off. Please feel free to finish it for me. Joe brought it up at the beginning of this conversation of this evening tonight. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the standard of your training. Who here has heard that phrase before? Okay. Who here has used that phrase in training before? Yeah, right? Me. So here's the reframe that I want to use on that. You know what? Before I even go into that, does anybody remember the person who said that phrase? Joe mentioned it at the very beginning. Anybody? That saying doesn't belong to us as an industry. That saying's over 2,500 years old. It comes from a Greek poet, Archilochus, and you brought it up at the beginning, so that's hilarious that you said that. But here's the reframe, real simple. You ready? You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the standard of your trainer. I'll say that again. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the standard of your trainer. as you absorb that, please feel free to substitute trainer with instructor, coach, FTO, DI, whatever it is that you want to use it. But we have to start taking onus of that ourselves. That whatever walks out of that door after we finish that course, that class, we finish at the range, whatever walks out, whatever that outcome is, we have to start taking accountability for everything that we're teaching, everything we're doing, how we're doing it. Because the officers that are walking out, they're going to fall to the standard that we hold ourselves to. When they walk out that door, what they hold with them is the standard that you hold yourself to. When I ask myself, how are we going to change the standard? It's the people in this room. You're the ones that are going to change the standard. It's the people that are here this week that took the time out of your schedules, that spent your own money to be here. I mean, some of you got your agencies to foot the bill, so I mean, thumbs up on that one. But you guys are here this week. You guys are the ones that are going to change the standard. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And Joe, thank you, brother.
Hey, I'm going to give you the same question I gave Dan as far as what are you doing right now to keep the sword sharp? We see you all over the place, but what are you working on?
Yeah, well, right now, there's a lot of people in this room, including yourself and a bunch of people. We're trying to take the best in the industry, including everybody here, and we're trying to develop new instructor development programs that can go out around the world. I mean, obviously for us, we're not just a U.S.-based or Canadian-based law enforcement. We work with 87 countries around the world. So for us, it's about how do we bring in that experience from around the world. What is Adam working on? Yeah, well, for me personally, it's having those conversations with every single person, so that this week I get the opportunity to sit down and interview 28 instructors from here. I kind of got the cheat code. I get to actually sit. I don't have to jump class to class. Everybody comes to me and I just get to have conversations. But for me, this is the number one thing that I never miss. So
I love it. No, thank you so much. And what I heard Adam say and what I thought you were going to say was something along that lines, like pick those brains, right? That's what you're doing. I watch you do it time and again, just digging into the knowledge that's out there, and they're willing to share it. Just ask the questions, and you're doing well at that. All right, so thank you very much. One more round of applause.